Well, you've said in a video that you've released that you had like a mission and a passion to join the military and then to go into the special forces. What gave you this kind of sense of protection of others? Did you always have it as a kid, or was it instilled later on?
This is an awesome question, Ian. Thank you for asking me this early on. I wasn't expecting this, and I could spend an hour talking about this alone. I'll do the short version for the sake of time. My protective instincts is something that was developed over time during my upbringing, my time as a youth, and it was learned really painfully and through a lot of struggle and hardships, and that came as the result of me moving, my family and I, we moved every year for the first half of my life, all the way up until I was in college, really. So I was the new kid in school every year as a young person. And because of that, I really struggled socially. I struggled to gain friends and keep friends. And I got picked on, I got bullied, which back then really wasn't looked at so seriously as it is today. It was just kind of part of being a kid. So
Mm,
I struggled socially, and whenever I did get a friend, it became the most important thing I had in my life. And I was willing to do anything to protect that. And doing that in repetition really created this protective instinct I had for those that I cared for. And then, I can retrospectively look at that now, but that's not something I could appreciate at the time growing up as a child. But looking back at what has made me successful in the military and as a Green Beret, I would attribute a lot of that to that nature nurture aspect of the way I was raised and what I experienced as I grew up. But that's not why I decided to join the military, man. I decided to join the military for one very simple reason, and that was 9/11. I was a sophomore in college. 9/11 happened. It was an incredibly impactful moment for me and most of us that were old enough to recognize what was happening. And I
mm.
was really pissed off, and I wanted to be part of the response to that.
I mean, and do you think that was part of the situation when you had the injury to your leg? Was it that protection you felt, that nurturing of like somebody who's maybe a newbie to the military, and do you feel like a duty to protect them, or did it happen in that split second and that was just your training and that was just your natural protection taking over? Do you think?
Yeah, man. I would attribute my response to the events that were unfolding around me on the day that I was wounded to be a result of my protective instincts nature, which is actually opposite, or at least it's different from what I really am expected to do in that scenario.
Mm.
And I've gone
Very
back
few
and
would do
kind
it.
of relived this so many times. It's like, you know, as soldiers and as operators, we're expected to perform in scenarios that are wildly unnatural, and this just comes at the result of a whole lot of repetition and training, and that's what that does. Like training and conditioning, it conditions your mind and body to be able to do things regardless of how natural that may be for us as humans. Like running towards the sound of gunfire is an unnatural thing for a
Mm.
living organism to do, and that's what we're expected to do when we train to go do that.